start out in the desert, Arizona. The offseason from 2022 involved Kyler Murray holding out, tweeting he wants a new contract. He gets his large money contract with a clause in it where he has to have a 3-hour independent study course within this contract. It was basically laughed out of the league because if you know Kyler well enough, he plays a whole lot of Call of Duty and, pro player there. Started out the season, it was disappointing to get D-Hop back to go a couple games. Kyler Murray tears his ACL in a Monday night game against the Patriots to where what's-his-face gets fired from Arizona, and then they bring in Jake's favorite human in the entire world, Jonathan Gannon.
Oh, that's right.
Did you do the thing?
I wanted to do the thing.
Oh, you blew it. That was the only thing I was looking forward to for this entire section of the podcast.
We could just do the sound effects ourselves if you want, but
I wanted him to do the thing that the Eagle, like the Philly radio does. Every time his name is mentioned, it plays his stupid pew pew explosion noises right afterwards.
Yeah, whatever. When he met Kyler for the first, that's how he broke the ice with Kyler for the first time, which blows my mind entirely. Just, I don't know. It's already off to a laughable start.
Whenever I see Jonathan again, I just see Murr from Impractical Jokers. I'm the only one that sees it, but I really think, somewhere the rest of the team's in State Farm Stadium, and they're just saying, okay, come on, call a timeout when you don't need to call a timeout.
He's impractically joking himself at thinking he's good at coordinating defense.
That's a good way to put it.
They signed their guy, 2 days after the Super Bowl? They basically trapped him inside State Farm Arena, said, hey, you got to sign, and you got to sign right now because we're tired of waiting. We want you as our head coach. Jonathan Gann becomes the head coach. They ended up having to flip-flop third-round picks because of a tampering problem, which was resolved right before the draft. And here we are. The phone's ringing. Everything's going off right now. This is a typical episode in my world. Let's go to the offense, and I'll hopefully let this phone ring out.
Has that ever happened on an episode?
Oh, so many times. If Colton was here, he knows this. He knows this by heart. I mute the mic and I just start smiling because I just want to let him talk and let him go on.
That's amazing. I'm so glad.
Who's calling?
We could.
There we go. We're good. So Kyler Murray is probably more than likely not going to be starting week 1 and probably not through the first.
Question, because we know that Green is rookies, okay?
Green is rookies.
Newly drafted players. I did see this when I was putting this together. Kyler is red. Is that currently injured?
He's definitely not starting week 1. There is no shot he starts. I think they're going to try to ease him back from the ACL injury and other damages he's done to his knee. So they're going to just try to ease him back in. They're going to let him just get kind of back up. Or maybe they just won't let him play this season, and we'll probably talk about what's going to happen with 2 of their first-round picks, which probably might be 2 top 5 overall selections.
So what is it? Is it Colt McCoy?
Colt McCoy or maybe Jeff Driscoll might be the starter. I mean, Colt McCoy, when he filled in for Kyler back a couple years ago, I liked him. He played really good. He won 3-1 as a starter.
That's not bad.
Not a terrible backup.
No.
Probably the year he went to the playoffs, maybe. I'm not too sure. But that's probably where that took place.
Who do we got here? I mean,
there is nobody here that I find just amusing or entertaining whatsoever. I am just so bored of this offense.
Yeah, tell us how you feel.
Hollywood Brown, I just am not entertained with. Rondell Moore, I give it a 50-50. Greg Dortch, he's all speed.
Sure.
Honestly, all I'm excited to see is Paris Johnson because I think he's going to be the league's next best young offensive tackle. I'm excited to see what he could do from Ohio State, and I'm excited to see what Trey McBride could do at tight end. There's just nothing on this offense that makes me scream, man, I want to watch Arizona Cardinals football. There's nothing here for me.
This is it's kind of okay, we didn't really do much to this offense. We didn't really improve it. We just think the head coach change is going to make the difference, right?
I think they just recognize that they're bad. And if you start with hoping that they'll have a decent coach and then build from there.
So
It's bad. Yeah, this is easily the worst team in football.
We thought the Raiders could be the worst. No, the Cardinals are going to take the icing on the cake here.
Yeah. So this is why I didn't want to say like the Raiders were objectively the worst, because this team's bad. And you have Cannon as your head coach.
So they added
offensive coordinator.
Yeah, who's there? What do you got?
Or is he running the offense too?
That'd be kind of scary.
I will look that up really quick.
And it's also just like, defensive coach, head coach now.
Drew Petzing.
Oh, good God.
Yeah.
This is his first season in Arizona, his 10th in the NFL. He spent the last 3 seasons with Cleveland as the quarterback's coach.
Okay. Cool. What else?
So one of the worst quarterbacks over that time.
Well, I mean, he had Baker's best year as a career starter in 2020, but then decline after. But yeah, they added Jeff Driscoll, Zach Pascal, Dennis Daly on offense. But they did end up losing a lot in Trace McSorley, probably their best quarterback, second best quarterback on the roster. Darrell Williams, Robbie Anderson, Chosen Anderson, whatever name he wants to go by today. I really don't know.
I forgot about that. Not too much on this team.
Pharaoh Cooper, who's I say one of the top 5 special teamers. AJ Green retired. Max Williams left. Cody Ford left. Max Garcia, Justin Pugh, Rodney Hudson.
Did you say DeAndre Hopkins?
Well, he's gone too. But
I don't think you said the largest loss.
It's not really a loss. They just said, you know what, just get off the team. We don't want you here anymore.
But like that, DeAndre Hopkins was the only reason Kyler Murray looked even competent at quarterback. Any game that DeAndre Hopkins did not play in that offense, they looked terrible.
Well, I think that's definitely part of the reason why last year was so poor.
They can always sign another guy, a Cardinals legend. He never officially retired.
Who are you talking about?
I think he has the second most receptions in NFL history. Larry Fitzgerald. Bring him back.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm over
objectively, maybe better than the receivers on this team right now. Not really. I'm not going to do that. But, I mean, Mark, it is tough because I don't want any of these guys on this team as a number 1 receiver on my team. Rondale Moore.
I have nothing to look forward to for this team. There is nothing that makes me just say, wow. Oh, wow, the Cardinals are playing. Let me turn on the TV. Like, I'm not doing that. I don't want to watch the Cardinals.
It's kind of true, which is a very unfortunate.
And also the unfortunate thing is I think they, in any good offense, their top 2 receivers would be probably the best slot receiver in the entire league. Pure slot receiver.
I'm okay with that.
Moore or Brown.
Yeah.
But they're going to be forced to be on the outside and just going to be a train wreck.
Yeah. Zach Pascal on this team, who at one point was more than what he is now. Yeah.
Let's move over to defense. I'm tired of looking at this, and the defense is not any better from the offense, man. There is just too much going on here. So let's talk about the additions here on defense, okay? So they got LJ Collier, which you can see on the top of the screen, Carlos Watkins also up there, Kevin Strong, Kazir White, Rashad Fenton, and then their departures, Zach Allen, J.J. Watt, Marcus Golden, Camus Gruger Hill, Byron Murphy, which is a major loss in the secondary, and their punter, Andy Lee, but we aren't really focusing too much on the special teams here.
Yeah. Even though
there is nothing on this team that makes me scream, man, I just want to watch Cardinals football.
Can I ask a question? Are they going to ever figure out how to use Simmons?
I think Simmons could probably coach this team a lot better than what he can honestly just do. So he's lined up in the nickel on the depth chart, but
why?
Well, he was the best raw talent coming out of the draft. Like, you can line this man up anywhere and he can play. And then it's just, oh no, you're just a linebacker.
He was an amazing linebacker in space and rushing the passer in college to just a nickel corner.
Yeah, and I think he is still him. I just think it's just so unfortunate of a situation, and they don't know what they're doing with him ever. And it's just kind of like, what do you want this dude to do? Put the whole team on his shoulders on defense? Because at times it's not promising. Everywhere is not promising. I mean, Carlos Watkins, okay. solid. Other than that, I mean, you didn't make any improvements to this team defensively, right? You lost Murphy, which is huge. Buda Baker exists, and that's that. Like, I don't. There's no names on here that I talk about during a whole season.
It's like every name that I would think of, I'd only like if they were on a good team and like they're like a solid piece as part of it.
Yeah.
None of them are like the guy.
No. I just don't even I don't have many promises.
I honestly think we have a candidate for a winless season.
Let's go to their schedule. So their schedule is the 11th hardest in the league, and weeks 2 through 5 they play all playoff teams that reached the divisional round and or later. And looking at it right here,
there's a good possibility they start 0-9.
If they do get a win, it could be Washington.
Yeah, week 1 maybe. One has film, and you're just kind of doing what you're doing. First time quarterback at home, basically. Like, sure.
That's a road game. They start off on the road.
And they start off on the road. But sure, I mean, they could win that game. I'm okay with saying that.
I think there's only 2 games they can probably win. I think their ceiling is 2. That's Washington and that's Atlanta. Like, there is no one else on this team that I could say, wow, they have a chance.
Houston? You don't think that they could still?
Maybe.
Houston has more together than Arizona
maybe they could string 2 together. A little momentum game at Houston, Little maybe Chicago. Maybe Chicago.
If it was like a September-October game in Chicago, sure.
I'm only saying this based
on winter in the Midwest. No, they're not winning that game. They're gonna be praying to get back on that plane to fly back to Arizona because it's gonna be much warmer there than will be in Chicago.
I'm only saying that based off of health, because the only team where health could really impact them on this list is like Chicago. Other than that,
and it's also brutal too. They got to play the Rams. They go on a very tough streak at the end of the season. They play the Rams who has a really good front. The Steelers that have a top 3 front. The Niners that have the top 3 front.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think Kyler can honestly go out and play this year. I don't think so.
It would
and this goes down to here. You go back to the draft here. They had the 3rd overall pick. Houston trades up with them with the 3rd pick. They go back to 12. They get Houston's pick next year. So there's a good chance that they could have the number 1 overall pick and maybe a 2 through a 5, like a really good chance at a 2 through a 5. We could probably see Caleb Williams be the successor.
That's what I was just about to ask. There's a good chance we see that they do the quarterback assassination again. We just drafted Josh Rosen. Kyler Murray, come on down. Basically, just starting his new deal. Hey, Caleb.
That's a product of the same head coach, no?
No.
Lincoln Riley.
Well, yeah, I'm saying I attribute anything Kyler is to Cliff Kingsbury.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
So,
I don't know.
At all,
it's unfortunate.
Looking at all this. This is a very stupid question to ask, but a lot of the other teams, it won't be so stupid to ask. What will make this season successful for the Arizona Cardinals?
Oh, it's easy. Number 1 overall pick.
It's kind of true.
That's a successful season for them.
That's kind of true. Because what do you... Okay, so you can finish at the absolute best. If Kyler might come in, season 4 or 5? Or season 4 or 5? Week 4 or 5, right?
Maybe. I don't think you could rush him. I think you want to just like...
No, but I don't know.
Well, what does it matter?
If you have you could trade away Kyler and then hopefully get some assets, kind of get his salary off the books, and then you don't want to risk an injury and then, what do you got to do with him?
It is unfortunate because it's just, I got nothing. I don't want to just speak negatively about the team. There's still talent on the team, but it is unfortunate because what do you want me to say? When you're not winning the division, hands down, I don't see you making playoffs, right? Even squeaking something through and trying to get through there. I don't see that happening. So then, yeah, sure. The lower the pick is your best possible successful season. It's such an unfortunate. It's so depressing to just say something like that.
Or you could just trade the number 1 pick and just get the house for them, whatever the house might be.
Yeah.
Pick players. I mean, a generational talent at the number 1 spot in the 2024 draft. So I think Cardinals fans are just looking forward to 9 months from now, just waiting to see, oh, hey, maybe we might get a successor at quarterback. And
Also,
maybe we'll get it correct because they haven't really had a quarterback since Kurt Warner. And then before that is who?
what is this? I'm very interested, by the way, in this logo. Okay. Yep. That's what I'm looking at
What are you talking about?
on the schedule. Yeah. Put it back up. The Cards Wire logo, by the way.
Oh, there's a man right there.
Look at that. What is that?
What is that?
That is one of the most insane logos and things that I've ever seen.
Put that up to the camera.
I don't know if I can. Can I? Can you see that? Oh, yeah. What is that, dude? What is that logo? This is just we're going off on something else now, but what do you call that? That's a bird that looked like it ran into a wall.
It's the appropriate Cardinals logo for this.
Yeah, this is currently the appropriate Cardinals logo. Cards Wire. I guess that's, yeah, sure. Okay. We may continue.
We got to talk about this really quick too. Their uniforms. They had such a great chance.
Gosh.
I don't understand why they got to write the city or the town across the front there. Like,
they went and just said, hey, what are the most basic, boring?
Are those actually different than their regular uniforms?
I don't know. Are they? I don't.
Besides the all white.
It's so. There's nothing to look forward to for this team this season. I'm sorry, everyone.
Nah. There's one thing. It's in 9 months. That's the draft. I think that's the only thing that's actually worth exciting. Anything exciting for a Cardinals fan right now.
Yeah, the most exciting part of their season will be the last week if they are the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Or number 1 pick.
Can they even be the upset team? I'm gonna bring this up one more time. Seattle. Okay, sure.
Seattle, maybe Philly, maybe the Niners. Well, they're not favored in any game. They're not favored in any games this year. They are the underdog in every single game.
Okay, well, that's about right. Wow.
They'll probably get a home 3 points against Atlanta.
Yeah, there you go.
Now Bijan's gonna run all over that defense. He might honestly break AP's record. Oh, I'm sorry. AD, pardon me.